Ever felt overlooked? Ever had the experience of doing a great job or coming up with a brilliant idea or providing significant value to others only to be disregarded? It's rather tough to bear, isn't it? Unfortunately, it's sometimes the case that even when our actions are noble, our intentions are selfless, and we render ourselves accessible to others, our true worth might be ignored or deliberately overlooked. Worse still, if we continually aim to propitiate those who don't appreciate us, we may end up feeling rather disheartened, and transforming this state of affairs can be quite challenging. Unquestionably, it's a tough sentiment to grapple with, and it's especially hard when it includes those nearest to us, such as family, friends, or a significant other. Stoic philosophy advises us not to anticipate recognition from others, as it's not guaranteed and it's out of our control. Longing for it is simply an avenue to disappointment. But what if I tell you that there are certain techniques which could help you become a more significant person in someone else's life and elevate your status? In reality, if you comprehend and implement the suggestions we're about to discuss, it's quite possible that this could happen. By adhering to these 9 guidelines, you can guarantee that those dear to you perceive you as a constant priority in their lives. Now that we've clearly defined the issue, it's time to alter your tactic by learning the solution. Are you ready? Before we delve into it, kindly ensure that you follow this guide right up to the end, as every step is critically important. Step 1. Cultivate the fear of loss in the other person. This psychological technique is one of the most potently effective methods for ensuring priority. People are usually more driven by the dread of losing something than by the possibility of acquiring it. If your aim is to be seen as a priority, then you must make the other person fearful of losing you. To accomplish this, begin by emotionally pulling back. Cease divulging personal emotions and confidences to them. Start balancing your time with others too. This will cause them to sense that they're no longer as significant to you. Although this technique is highly efficient, one must employ it carefully. Overdoing it will lead them to abandon any attempt to regain your attention. So use this method judiciously and in equilibrium. Step 2. Avert being always available. We have heard about quality over quantity, and it certainly rings true when it comes to relationships too. If you aspire to be a priority in others' lives, you may need to curtail your availability. While it's crucial not to restrict your presence entirely, the more accessible you tend to be, the higher the risk of being taken for granted. It may be time to put yourself first if you find yourself constantly bending to others' needs. Send the message that your life does not solely revolve around them, and that your presence is not guaranteed, increasing their appreciation for you. Step 3. Rely on mystery. Gaining interest and holding it can often be achieved by being slightly elusive. Enigma and mystery can make people feel more connected in terms of relationships. You should refrain from revealing all about yourself at once. Give hints about your passions and hobbies, but don't go into too much detail. It's important to avoid delving too deeply into your personal history. People develop an increased interest when there's more to discover about a person, and they may eventually consider you a priority in their lives. Step 4. Allow them to invest in you. However, handle this behavior cautiously, as you wouldn't want to push them away. It's self-evident that a person who has invested more in you will likely consider you as a priority. Enable them to devote time to you, for instance. Respectfully decline invitations that you are sure you cannot commit to. Don't always be readily available, and make them respect you and your time. Transmitting the message that you are unique and require extra efforts to secure your time can, in turn, work in your favor. Utilize this method sparingly to prevent undesirable consequences. Step 5. Do not sacrifice your needs in the process. This is not to promote selfishness, but to discourage putting yourself in a situation where you are undervalued. surrounding yourself with people who prioritize you consequently enhances the likelihood of being prioritized by others. Remember, the only feelings you can regulate are your own, so if you value yourself, you increase the chances of others doing the same. Step 6. Don't make them the central focus of your life. People are often drawn to things they cannot easily possess, thereby placing a greater value on them. This is the principle behind the commonly used phrase, "The grass is always greener on the other side." This concept is applicable in managing relationships as well. Keeping this in mind, the 6th stage encourages a slight distance in order to pique people's interest. This communicates that you're not in need of their recognition, and in doing so, they will appreciate your worth more. Step 7. Avoid initiating constant communication. This may feel counterintuitive to you because if you want to be important for other people, shouldn't you be more eager to initiate a conversation? This isn't always true because if you're constantly the first to establish contact, the other person may start taking you for granted. The alternative is simple. Cease from always initiating communication and observe the outcome. If people genuinely care, they'll make an effort to reach out. Step 8. Find your own happiness. Relying on others to be happy, it's the easy answer, but can often lead to disappointment. If you find happiness only depending on others, you're not truly living your life. You accommodate their needs and priorities, forgetting yours. On the other hand, being self-reliant and creating joy not only contributes to long-term happiness, but also presents you as more balanced and confident, making you more appealing. Step 9. Don't be scared to walk away. Walking away, though daunting, forms the 9th step of our journey in these Stoic lessons. This exhibits your ability to demand respect and refuse anything below what you deserve. The right individual will naturally prioritize you and strive to retain you in their life. Always bear in mind that your duty is to take control and make the most suitable choices for you. It is crucial that you are cognizant of the righteousness of your actions in the perspective of others, and this should offer you satisfaction. Do not harbor an expectation for continual acknowledgement or credit and instant recognition of your worth from others. Allow time to pass and people will naturally begin to perceive your deserving stature. Encapsulated in the concluding remarks of this 9-step guide on being of significance in another's life, please make an effort to fully absorb this discourse. We may all recall times when we have felt disregarded or seen as low priority. However, it's vital to remember that everyone's life journey is distinct, and the priorities of others don't necessarily reflect our intrinsic value. Instead of letting these incidents impinge on our self-worth, we should perceive them as chances for personal development. The secret is to put ourselves first, focusing on our happiness and well-being. In due course, this will become evident to others who will then acknowledge our worth. Remember, even if you don't rank highest on other people's priority list, you should take precedence in your own life. This isn't about selfishness, but rather self-gentleness and self-directedness. By doing so, we can forge healthier bonds, make choices that align better with our objectives, and experience a more gratifying and purposeful life. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel if you found this contribution beneficial. I will sign off by recommending a couple of videos that might catch your interest. See you soon.